you spoke about structure. I want to ask you two things about structure that I really love about Rang De Basanti. One of the things that one usually reads in screenwriting books is that the inciting incident must happen within, like, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is. That's one thing that people usually say. Here, Madhavan's death, I don't think it's a spoiler anymore. So it's like Madhavan's death happens well into this, like in the second half. So, so till then, there is something else happening, but the real inciting incident, so to speak, happens in post-interval. That's very interesting to me. The second decision I'd like you to talk about is usually the interval is always a moment for a high point.
Dang, dang, dang.
Yeah, so it's like it's when all the threads that you've been following kind of come together and promise you the collision that will take you to the second half. And here it's the softest interval where Madhavan proposes to Soha, all the friends celebrate, and you're left with that high of that moment before you enter the tragedy of the second half. Can you talk about these two decisions?
You know, it's best to be when you're not intelligent.
Oh, please, do not.
And you're learning.
Okay.
Yeah, and you do things which the world feels is stupid.
Okay.
And for me,
Were there people around you saying, don't do this?
All the time.
Like, don't have the interval song?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
There were so many noises after that. So nobody knew me in the industry. I'd made one film and then gone quiet, gone into a hole, quietly writing my next film. Took it to Amer, he liked it. So let's talk about the structure first. Yes, a classic structure is 3 acts, which is beginning, middle and end. Beginning being the setup, middle being the conflict, and the end being the resolution as such. Though I feel you can start with the end also.
Yeah.
And so we started with the hanging of Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev. And then you jumped into, oh, what's a setup? Then you jumped back into, and actually Amit told me a very good thing one day. We were watching Rang De on the 10th year and we came back home and we were, all talking about it, how it felt. He said, Mehra, I think you made a song. You made a very lyrical film. You've gone with the beat of the heart. You haven't considered any rule. And songs which surprise you stay with you. They don't follow a structure. So I think a free-flowing structure is far more interesting, and that then to tie yourself and work within a predefined plot point 1, midpoint, plot point 2, and the climax. So, yeah, and plus the interval point. Yeah, it felt right. So one said interval. It totally felt right because then you were changing gears after that. You were getting into deeper waters.
Yeah.
And why do we have to feel interval ke baad ab kya hoga? What next? Or the picture tears and there are 2 guys and it's not a suspense thriller. Rang De Basanti is a drama.
Right.
It's a socio-political film. It's a family film. It's about our children.
Right.
So why can't I leave the audience with a warmth in their heart? Because I felt so good about that moment and going into out of focus shot going. And A.R. Rahman did ask me, are you sure? You want this interval to come at this song? I said, it felt so. When I was shooting only, I knew it, that I got my moment.
It's when you had the screenplay, what was the interval point?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't write intervals.
Okay.
I keep it fluid. And then because so much happens, so much magic happens on the set, so much improvisation happens, that you just might find another moment. But if you're pre-decided, see, there cannot be an interval in a story.
Yeah.
It was done in India because we had 3.5 hour long movies.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of sales came from the canteen, the samosas and the dosas and the idlis and now hot dogs. and all that. Pizzas also, I believe. So it was a business decision combined with the length of the film. People had to go and use the restroom, and so many things like that. So I normally don't write intervals. It's a post-ka feeling when it comes to interval. Yeah.
So when you edit, is when you decide this is the.
So while shooting, you get you start to understand what's your midpoint, because our cinema requires a very strong midpoint. And I thought All the Friends Together is a very strong midpoint.
Lovely,
because
yeah.
it was about friends and they were all going to die except the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course, in hindsight, one can always say that's the best decision. But while doing it, it must have been a.
I just realized after talking to you why it happened. I didn't do it, it happened.
It happened.
Things happen to you. And you claim ownership of it, but I don't claim I don't even claim ownership on Rang De Basanti.
Yeah.
I always feel there's somebody else who made that film. There was another Rakeysh Mehra, and the energies were different. Obviously, the age was different, and the beard was not so white. Hair was really long, and he would never listen to anybody. He still doesn't listen to anyone, so it's fine. Yeah.